Welcome everyone, Stealthy Sharon here, and today I'm bringing you something a bit different. Some of you may have noticed that I haven't been putting out as many videos recently, and this is because I wanted to scale back the content I do to concentrate on other things. One of those things being game dev. But before I go any further, I want to set the record straight by saying, I still plan on doing the monthly reviews for Humble Choice, which I know many of my subscribers are here for. So there will be no change on that front. With that out of the way, I still will be creating other videos, but probably on a less consistent basis. I'd like to create devlog style videos to showcase my journey in game dev, mainly as a marker for myself. But if anyone else is interested in my journey, what I'm working on, or need a little motivation themselves, then I hope this can offer something to you, the viewer. This past week, I had joined the gamedev.tv Game Jam, and produced what you're seeing on screen at the moment. The jam lasted for 10 days, and the theme for it was, Death is Only the Beginning. We could only use free assets, or assets we created ourselves, and that was basically the rules. The rest was all up to me. So, I got to work on creating a small platformer. It would have consisted of 3 levels or so, some different variations of enemies, with some having different attacks, and it would all culminate in a boss battle at the end, which would also have different attacks to keep the player on their toes. After a couple of days, I was frustrated with the amount of progress I had made. The controls I had felt janky, and I couldn't do what I wanted for enemy AI. I was trying to use a free asset called A-Star Pathfinding, but I soon realized I didn't have the time to read through the documentation on how to use it, along with also needing to figure out how to do everything else. I think I stayed up until around 2 a.m. one of those nights, trying to hammer something out, only to realize that I had nothing. To be honest, this was pretty demoralizing. I wasn't sure that I would have anything to speak of by the end. Luckily, after sleeping on it and talking it over with my wife, who helped me bounce ideas around, I came to some realizations. My scope was too big, and I was doing too many unknowns. I needed to bring it back a notch into territory that was a bit more familiar. So I decided on making a tower defense game. But not at first, actually. I came up with the idea to make a game where you played as an archer and shot at an endless stream of undead trying to break into the castle. I wasn't sure how long this would take me to put together, but I figured if I could make it in a decent amount of time, then I'd think about adding defenses and different enemy types later. I went ahead and started prototyping the game with just simple shapes that were within the Unity editor. This was a step that I didn't do with the previous project, as I was too worried about choosing the right free assets for a good-looking game rather than creating working gameplay first. Obviously, that was a mistake. This time around, I prototyped it and got it up and running rather quickly. Emboldened by my success, I decided to go further with the project and create more mechanics. In the Unity 2D course offered by gamedev.tv, which, by the way, is an amazing resource for anyone just starting to learn Unity and C#. But anyway, in the course, it had a section that covered a tower defense in the same vein as Plants vs. Zombies. I used that extensively for the foundation of much of my code. Obviously, there were several changes I had to make in order for things to work a certain way, but the course helped me greatly in my game's development. I worked through this course before, however, I found myself relearning different things that I had forgotten. I think it was the most helpful for me with rediscovering Unity's animation system, with the animator and different elements of working with animations, such as understanding the difference between triggers and booleans in the animator, and the use of animation events to call functions at specific frames in the animation. The course also reiterated the single responsibility principle to me, which is the idea that every class or function in the code only has one specific task. I can't say I completely followed that because I did take shortcuts near the end, but it helped me be even more cognizant of it so that I can create better code in the future. Anyway, as you can see, I eventually found graphics for the game, and I implemented some simple sound design with some death sound effects and a music track that loops throughout. had a bit of extra time to add in some slight story elements, which I'm really glad I could do. All in all, it ended up being a frantic tower defense game of 7 levels where you play a mage, not an archer anymore, fighting off hordes of the undead. This game jam taught me a lot, but the most important thing I gleaned from it was just how much I could get done when I go heads down and try to bang something out. It was an incredibly uplifting feeling to put together my game's page and hit submit. To any who want to try out my game for yourself, then just follow the link in the description. Leave a comment either over on the game's page or right here under this video and tell me what you think. I have some plans for it in the future, but I've yet to decide if I want to continue working on it post-jam. I hope this video helped you in some small way, and if it did, then please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, or whatever it is you feel like doing. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.